Well, hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. I know I was supposed to have this video out on Sunday, so it is kind of 3 days late. But as I like to say, very often actually, it's better late than never. And at least I'm posting it. And I'm not taking months with it, I'm just 3 days late. So there's that, but I really hope all of you are doing well. I hope that you're taking care of yourselves. I hope that you're enjoying your summers. Um, what did I say summers? Just, there's only one. Anyways, yeah, I really hope you're enjoying your summers. I hope that you're spending your time well. Personally, I think I can say that I have been spending my summer well. Although it is really hard to actually find time to upload videos and stuff, but I am trying my best. I'm not making any excuses for myself, which is exactly why I'm recording this. It is very late in the night, but this video is way more important than sleeping. And I mean, my sleep schedule, it's kind of already ruined, so it doesn't really matter if I sleep tonight or not. When it's really bad, it really can't get any worse. I mean, it can, but honestly, it's just as bad as it can get. I mean, okay, we didn't actually come here to talk about my sleeping schedule now, did we? No, we didn't. Maybe I'll get into it a bit later in this voiceover. Who knows? No one knows how these voiceovers end up going, honestly, not even me. But yeah, so a bit about this speed build part. Basically, I'm only going to be doing the landscaping, as I said in the last voiceover. My original plan was to have Gywn as a guest, but sadly it just kind of didn't work out with time for us, so I'll make sure to invite her sometime soon when both of us are available. But yeah, sadly I was kind of supposed to post this earlier, I meant, and yeah, just kind of, it's hard to make things work sometimes, but I promise I'll have her over sometime soon. But yeah, I guess getting back to the speed build again, like I said, I was only gonna do landscaping, and that's gonna be the expensive part of this whole house. The landscaping definitely was the thing that hurt the budget the most. I think I remember I went from like 3 or 200k to a million, even more. The build is worth 1.8 million. And honestly, this whole house itself is definitely under a million, but it's just the landscaping makes it that expensive. So if you do want to make it a bit cheaper, and I'm pretty sure I said this in a previous voiceover, but actually I don't really remember. You see, the thing is with that voiceover, I really don't like it because I did record it with no sleep at all. And that's usually something I try to avoid doing every single time. But it's just, sometimes it works out like that, and then I need to record it with no sleep, and then the voiceover turns out to be horrible, and I forget to say half of the stuff I wanted to. So I'm trying my best to not make it like that. But yeah, so I'll try to mention all of the things that I didn't mention in the last voiceover in this one. But yeah, I guess the price point was one thing, but I'm pretty sure I talked about it. There's no way I didn't. You see, it's kind of an issue that I don't remember what I actually talked about, but well, I mean, if you didn't hear it in that voiceover, you'll hear it in this one, I hope. But yeah, if you just use the regular Bloxburg trees, you're definitely going to have a way cheaper house. But of course, I feel like the landscaping is definitely a huge part of this build. I mean, in all fairness, when you really think about my builds, landscaping is always kind of like a big part. It's just something that I like to think makes my builds unique. Especially this new trick where we have like these new decals and we can just upload them and have different, trees, and it's a lot easier to actually make like different landscapes. And that's one thing that I really like to do with my builds always, is to just basically make different terrains so it kind of fits in with the aesthetic I was going for. I mean, in all fairness, landscaping is definitely like a really big mood setter, if that makes any sense with builds, at least in my opinion. It's like a very important factor, and I feel like landscaping in general is just something that really makes builds good. So if you have good landscaping, it's very likely that your build will turn out to look pretty nice. And that's why I always kind of put effort into it, no matter how expensive it is. To me, it's usually worth it. I mean, it always pays off. I guess I'm just a fan of trees. You know, we all like different things, and I'm a fan of trees, and I can say that. Proud to say it, actually. But being a huge fan of trees in Bloxburg comes with a cost, and that is money. Bloxburg cash. That's the cost. I kid you not, I needed to work for so long to actually afford all of this landscaping. It probably looks like I just kind of placed all of these trees without any breaks, but I took hours. Basically, I would place a couple of them, and then I would need to work for a couple of hours to place a few again. And I had to repeat this process for, I don't know, a very long time. And I have to say, it did kind of get annoying in the end, but I was so glad when I was, like, just done with this. It was like, finally. And, I mean, it is annoying, but in the end, you know, no matter how annoying it was worth it. It was worth it. I mean, I don't really have any regrets. But it's just... my bank account, my Bloxburg bank account was suffering. It was suffering and suffering and suffering. And it will continue to suffer. Because I am telling you, this is only the beginning of this kind of landscaping. And that probably sounds very scary. And don't be scared. It's just builds are probably going to get a little bit more expensive. But like I said, I guess it's like a sacrifice. And because of this... it's just easier to make landscaping look better, you know? And another thing that actually Float pointed out to me, which I didn't really realize at the start, basically, now we won't take up as much plot data with this kind of landscaping. It is more expensive, but on the right side, it's going to save a lot of plot data, which I'm really excited about. Because as a lot of you may know, I actually did end up crying over plot data once. This is probably the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, in all fairness, I never expected to cry over plot data, but you know, sometimes it does get that bad. And it did. It did. That's all I can say. But you know, it's over now. I'm glad I got that build done. That was the ski chalet, if any of you were wondering, but I'm pretty sure if you've heard of that story, you know which build I'm talking about. And well, if you didn't, now you know. But yeah, it was something. Let me tell you, it was something. So at least now, I won't have to really worry about that, I hope. You know, maybe that was my first and my last time crying over plot data. Honestly, I hope that it is. Because if it's not, then it's gonna be, well, how do I put this? It's gonna be a bit upsetting. And speaking of plot data, in the most recent update, I saw a tweet. I don't remember who made it now. But basically, I think the devs actually added more plot data. So now, maybe some of you don't notice, but it's kind of old news. I think it's been there for, I want to say, a good 6 months. So it's a while. But they added like the small feature where we can technically purchase more plot data once we run out of it. So if you max out your plot data, you can just kind of buy more. And at that time, you could only buy 20, and now they made it so that you can buy, I think, up to 60 extra percent. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe even 80, because I saw someone with 167% of plot data, which is crazy and nuts. But if we can buy that much, then, I mean, I'm not complaining. My life will literally be so much better. If I won't need to stress about plot data with any build that I'm making, oh my god, it's gonna be a dream, I kid you not. And they're finally doing this, because I remember like just saying how badly I wanted something like this to happen, and it's finally happening. Can you guys believe it? My prayers have been finally answered. Oh, it's all hilarious. I mean, I still need to test it out myself, so I can't 100% confirm it, but I have seen it. I have seen a couple of people post about this, so I do think it's legit. But you know, as some of them say, you can't always trust everything you see on the internet. So we're gonna have to wait and see until I can actually test it out. So I guess until I do, it's gonna be a mystery. But I think I should probably get back to the build again. You know, it's just I just should. It's the right thing to do. But I finally got to doing the bushes. So how I like to do my landscaping is, first of all, I always like to get the trees done first. And I remember I used to do that with, you know, like regular Bloxburg trees as well. It's just the way I do my landscaping is I always place the trees first, and then I move on to the smaller bushes. And with the bushes, I kind of have like a specific order in how I place them as well. So for example, I will always place the bigger ones first, and then I would just move on onto the smaller ones until I get to the smallest one, if that makes any sense. So I kind of did that with this kind of landscaping as well. But I was really glad to actually start doing the bushes because the trees were so expensive, as I've said. I don't want to lie right now, but I think one of the trees actually cost 40k. The other was like 45 or 35. And I placed a bunch of them, as you can see, so it was a lot of money. But, you know, I did say that it was worth it, and I'm still gonna stand by my point. And as a lot of you have probably noticed, Gywn was actually starting to work on the interior while I was doing the landscaping as well, because, you know, landscaping was really expensive, and I didn't really want to hold her back, so I was like, you can start on the interior while I'm doing the landscaping, and we just kind of worked on it together. So I think by this stage, Gywn was halfway done with the downstairs. And I just remember walking into the living room for the first time, and I was like, wow. I was like really blown away. But I mean, in all fairness, it's not the first time. I remember doing the same thing with our first collab. And it feels so weird to say that this is our second collab already, because, you know, the first one, it wasn't even that long ago. But I guess the first one went so well that we were like, okay, well, let's do this one too. And I'm 100% sure that I actually mentioned this in the previous voiceover, which I recorded with no sleep. That's my favorite fact. I don't know why, but I just feel the need to say that. But basically, both of us kind of consider this as like a smaller-ish build, which we just kind of put out for you guys to have something while we're working on our bigger projects. So yes, this isn't really that big of a build. We kind of have bigger ones coming. Well, mine, I wouldn't say mine is necessarily bigger. You guys seen a few sneak peeks of it. It's the Tulum build. It's not necessarily bigger than this house, but I guess it is a bit better and cooler landscaping wise. I definitely feel like I did a better job on that build than I did on this one. I'm so excited to show it to you all. But it is quite a lot to do the interior. I'm not gonna hide that. It's a lot of work. Plus, I'm kind of also new to the style, and I'm like trying to learn and trying to make it as accurate as possible to, you know, the current Tulum Airbnbs that they have. So I'm taking my time. But I feel like in the end it will be worth it, and I really hope that you guys will end up liking the interior and all of the other parts that you didn't get to see. I've been doing my research about Tulum, so I can tell you that. But this video is not about Tulum. It's about, well, oh, I don't think I even talked about this ever. But I actually made the first post today on Instagram about this build. And Gywn and I decided that we were gonna base this in Charlotte, North Carolina. For some reason, this just kind of gives me East Coast Carolina vibes. You know what I mean? Okay, wait. I'm pretty sure Carolina is in the East Coast. I don't want to lie, but I think so. I think I remember correctly. Yep, it's right next to Atlanta. You see, I got it correct. I don't know, it's just giving me East Coast vibes. But in all fairness, you can kind of find farmhouses like these all around the US. They're so popular nowadays, it's crazy. Honestly, sometimes it feels like they're the new colonials, because, you know, back in the day, colonials were really popular in the United States, but now it's modern farmhouses. you can't go on the street without seeing a modern farmhouse. Obviously, I'm kidding, but you know, they're just really common. I mean, I suppose it's not a bad thing, because the style, it is kind of pretty. But if you want me to be honest, and if you want to hear my opinion, I don't know. I don't think I'd want a modern farmhouse, because out of all the house styles, it's not that it seems kind of boring and everything. It's just, it's not me, you know? I want something unique, I guess, and I guess this style is just kind of common, especially now. It's everywhere. But on the other hand, since they're so popular, it's kind of easy to build them in general because, well, you have so many reference images to go off of, and you just kind of have more chances to make it accurate. And honestly, I feel like the style has become so popular that now we kind of have different, like, how do I say this? Different types of this specific style, at least interior-wise, you know, because there's Boho Modern Farmhouse, and then there are other ones and stuff. You know, I guess the style is becoming so popular that it's just kind of split up into different types. Honestly, I'm always fascinated by how styles are evolving and everything, and like the trends in interior design. Because compared to, I don't know, like even 10 years ago, everything has changed so much, and the trends just, they never stop changing. But I guess that's always just kind of a thing with trends. Like, it's not just with interior design, it's clothing as well. It's a thing. But I'm always fascinated by stuff like this. I find it very, I guess I want to say cool. I mean, because it is kind of cool. And yeah. But, okay, I cannot not talk about this. It's basically, where I live in my city, the government actually bought a lot of these just lawnmowers that are robots, and we basically have them in parks and everything, just going around and stuff. And I just randomly got the idea to make a custom one, because why not, you know? I feel like the people living here are definitely, like, caught up with the technology, and they have all of the newest gadgets and whatnot, and I was like, I felt so creative while doing this, because I was like, OMG. Like, this robot, it matches this house so perfectly, can't explain it. It's not like it matches, but it belongs there, you know? It belongs on the lawn. And while I was doing the back, I decided that maybe I should add it to the back as well. So you're gonna find another one at the back. It's kind of sad that they're not, like, entirely functional, but I guess it's the idea that really matters. And yeah. I guess I just, like, really like seeing them in person, so I was like, okay, I guess it's time for me to make it in Bloxburg. And as you can see, I finally started using the new wicker texture that we got in our, I don't know if it's the most recent update, because I heard something about an update that came out not that long ago. It was like a secret update where they changed the flags because of the new Roblox's terms of service or something along the lines of that. But I think, well, but I'll still call it the last update. It basically came with the newest update, and I wanted a new texture so bad, and we finally got a texture that I can use almost everywhere. Because wicker in general, it's just like a material that kind of fits with a lot of different styles. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it takes me. But yeah, in this build, I wanted to use it kind of for like a planter. I made these mini trees, and I just knew I had to put them in planters at the back. It just kind of made sense to me, and I'm really glad I did that. I like the way they look, and I don't know, it just, I guess they look a bit cleaner too. Maybe this will give you a couple of ideas for your own builds. I mean, I hope. It just kind of gives off that farmhouse aesthetic if you like those mini trees and planters. To me, at least, I don't know. You know, everyone has their own opinions, so I'm just sharing mine. But I've been landscaping the back for quite a while, but I remember actually struggling quite a bit with what I actually wanted, because obviously didn't want to, I don't know, rack the price up to like 2.5 million. so I didn't add as many trees as I actually wanted to have in the back. But I don't think it looks that bad without many trees. I actually kind of like how it turned out to be. I don't know, I just like this build in general. I guess it's kind of similar to what I usually do, but then it's also kind of out of my comfort zone, and I'm only really saying this because of the backyard, because I never make backyards like these. But I guess that's why I had so much fun building this, because I always tried something new. And now I definitely see myself doing backyards like these a lot more. I feel like this definitely belongs in like a cookie cutter neighborhood, if you know what I mean, where it's like surrounded by other houses and like suburbia and stuff like this, because the backyard's definitely compact, but it's a nice backyard. I'm actually surprised by how much I got to fit in here, because, well, okay, we have the side yard where we have the trampoline, we have the dining and seating areas, and then obviously the pool. The pool is quite big, and then, well, the hot tub. The hot tub isn't technically functional, but it does look like a, I mean, it is. You can sit down, but it doesn't really function like a hot tub. But you know, you can just pretend it's a hot tub, and then we obviously have the fire pit right next to the pool. So I'm kind of happy with everything that I got to fit in here. Yeah, I suppose that's kind of all about like the landscaping itself. It's really, you know, it's just the same thing over and over again. And it's always like that in the landscaping voiceovers, because it's just, you kind of run out of things to say. Yeah, I'm looking at the time right now, and I'm not really pleased with it because it is currently 3 in the morning, and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. And I'm just, you know, I know myself, and I know how I am when I barely get any sleep. Oh, and then tomorrow, I don't know if it's going to be a good day. I'm praying for a good day. But with the amount of sleep that I'm about to get, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to function well. I really hate the fact that I can't really function that well with not that many hours of sleep. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just like, why? Why do I need to sleep a certain amount of hours to actually function well? Like, why can't I just not sleep and then, you know, be fine? Like, why does it have to be a thing? Why do I have to get tired? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, sometimes I actually really hate being a human being. But we didn't come here to talk about that, now did we? I'm so hilarious sometimes, it's not even funny, it becomes sad. And I feel like this is definitely a moment like that. But well, it is what it is. But anyways, we only have 3 minutes left of the footage, so I think it's probably a good time for me to say bye. Goodbye. No, just bye. Goodbye. But yeah, I really hope all of you take care. I hope that you have enjoyed this voiceover and speed build, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.